Welcome into the lounge presented by DraftKings. We're thrilled to have center Tyler Linderbaum here with us. And Tyler, I'll start with this. So I kind of solicited questions from Ravens fans for this interview. And one guy in particular, Cole Jackson, he's like a big tape guy. He loves breaking down offensive line tape, right? So I was like, all right, give me a question that makes me sound really smart and like I'm really technical, like I'm a grinder, trenches guy, right? Okay, so here's the question, all right? What is the key to winning the Solon Beef Day hay bale toss?
The key. Shoot. I don't know if I have the answers to that.
Oh, wow. Stumped them.
Yeah.
Stumped them.
Really just try to throw it as high and as hard as you can.
Okay.
And just hope that it gets over the bar.
All right. So for our listeners out there, can you explain to them what the Beef Day hay bale toss is?
Yeah. So Solon, Iowa, that's where I'm from. And every year there's a kind of a town fair, county fair.
Yeah.
And there's this thing we have every Friday night called the hay bale toss. And the goal of it is a bunch of grown men, kids, whatever, try to throw a hay bale as high as they can, kind of over a high jump bar.
Right.
And you just keep going up and see how high you can get. So a lot of people go to it. It's kind of a fun thing to do, a fun tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I could be a part of it. And a lot of former Iowa players still do it. So it's a pretty cool event.
I saw that you got first place with 14 feet and Tristan Wirfs had 12 feet. So your rivalry beyond wrestling, it went to another level with the hay bale toss.
You know, each year it's kind of different based off the hay bales and how much they weigh.
Okay.
So probably that one year where Tristan only got 12 feet or 13 feet, whatever he got, the hay bales were probably a little heavier. Because I know for a fact that he can throw higher than me.
Okay.
You're a humble man.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Would you do this in the off season?
No, I'm retired from it.
Okay, you retired. Your hay
Yep.
baling throwing days are behind
Yep.
you. Okay.
Went in there, won it, and so I'm
Retired on
throwing
top.
it in the towel. Yep.
You rode off into the sunset as a champion.
Correct.
All right, so last time we had you on the podcast, it was last year, and you were coming off the game where you put Devin White on skates against the Buccaneers and basically dominated, had that block that everybody was talking about in that game. So now one of your blocks is kind of blowing up once again, which is on Keaton Mitchell's 60-yard run. You had Jordan Burke. You took him out of the play twice. You're running 60 yards down the field.
Double dipper.
Alongside Keaton Mitchell, and you took out Brooks twice on that play. So I want to get your perspective on this block.
First, it started with Keaton breaking the first tackle, and I'm just trying to do my job pulling around, just hit the guy as hard as I could. You know, with Keaton and his speed, you never know what's going to happen. So just keep trying to work downfield and make a block. But on that play, you know, you go all across the line. Everyone was doing their jobs. First with Pat McCary, you know, pulling out and hitting Jamal Adams to the sideline. So that kind of helped spring the play open.
Yeah. Has there been another play that you can think of where you took the same guy out of the play twice on the same play? I mean, that doesn't happen very often.
Well, once you take a guy out of the play, he's out of the play.
But then
right?
he came
you can't
back
take
in.
a guy out.
Then he kind of came back in.
He was like the Terminator kind of.
You just made sure. You made sure that he did make the play.
So I should probably hit him harder the first time just so I didn't have to worry about the second
there we
time.
go.
That's true.
Yeah, there we go.
Next time I'll learn from it. Learn from the tape. So.
I'm wondering, have you ever, you ran 54 yards on that play. Is that the farthest downfield that you've ever made a block, you think? I mean, that's pretty atypical.
Probably. No, other than that, just maybe trying to run down when they're going to score a touchdown. So
Right,
just celebrating.
Celebratory run.
Yeah. Just trying to do my job. You know, that's what O-linemen do, just try to do their job and spring open big plays like that.
Well, it's kind of like at the combine, right? Whenever the O-lineman run the 40, everybody's like, well, who cares? The O-lineman, he's never running 40 yards for a block. It's all about that split, the first, 3 steps. This proves it wrong. You got to run a good 40 for that kind of block.
Right. So, the 40s matter for the big guys.
There
now,
you go.
I guess.
Exactly. You're welcome to all the big guys now running the 40 at the combine. Tyler just ruined it for you all.
There you go.
Yeah. I actually do remember last year when you got here, Lamar talking about like your speed getting down the field. And,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
so this is that something that you actually take pride in? I mean, we're kind of joking about like that speed, 40, 50 yards down the field, but is that a point of pride?
Just always trying to work to the ball, getting around the ball. I wouldn't say I'm the fastest. I don't know. Just try to work hard, get to the ball, be around the ball just in case, anything good or bad happens. So it's always good to be around the ball.
I did look up your speed on the play. It wasn't quite what Keaton's was.
Yeah.
You weren't super
I'm still
far
trying
off.
to chase him. So, yeah, maybe someday.
Exactly. So I'm curious, where do you feel like you've made your greatest improvements from year 1 to year 2?
I think just you're going to learn a lot from playing 17 games in the NFL your rookie year. Everything's so new. The speed of the game is a lot faster than college. I just think being more comfortable, knowing that I can do it. Last year there's probably a bunch of times facing new guys, going against new guys. There's a lot of questions. Can I do this? Just having that confidence, I think, has helped me into year 2. Obviously there's still a lot of stuff that I want to improve on and still get better at. But I think I'm, making the right strides and taking a step in the right direction, but, always hungry to get better.
And when you were at Iowa, run-heavy offense, and then you come into the NFL last year, and it was a run-heavy offense primarily. This year, it's more balanced. The passing game is taking on kind of a new element of this offense. For you, what was your approach to kind of improving as a pass protector? Like, knowing you had done it at a great level as a run blocker, but now with this new element of this offense, need to improve more as a pass protector. What was the approach there?
Yeah, I think it was something that, I really want to focus on getting better at. And, especially in this league, we're gonna be passing the ball. Especially, we brought in the receivers, got Lamar, that we can, spread them out and pass the ball. And I didn't want to be, a liability. There's still a lot of stuff that I want to work on in the pass game and pass protection. Each and every week there's stuff that I can get better at, but if we're going to be throwing the ball more, I got to be better as a pass protector. That just comes with, reps, working on it and your technique. And I got a good group of O-linemen in the room to help me out with that. Well,
you're selling yourself short a little bit. I mean, you're saying you don't want to be a liability, but right now you lead the NFL in pass blocking, for centers. Okay?
PFF highest grade is a center in pass blocking.
Yeah, so I think that you're not a liability. You check that off, okay?
For sure.
So, how did you improve? How? Not that you were not good at it previously, but you just hadn't done it probably as much as you are this year. So, how did you go about improving that, and what does it mean to you to be leading the way at this point, but with that PFF grade?
I think it's just a lot goes into the technique. Like I said, just being confident in it. Knowing the body positions that you want to get into, where you're in a strong body position, and at the end of the day, just try not to let the guy across from you beat you. So just block forever, block as long as you can, and let the playmakers out in space and Lamar hit the throws downfield.
It feels like the offensive line is really gelling right now. Like, it's just, that position group, it's all kind of 5 as 1, right? Like, you all have to kind of be on point for it to work. What is it that's gelling so well? What's creating that? Is it the dinners that I hear that you all host every week? What is it?
The dinners certainly help.
Yeah. Food always helps with everything, let's be honest.
It's all about chemistry at the O-line position. Anytime you understand, where guys are going to be, how you're going to work off each other, that's going to make the unit a lot better. And as it's been like that through my whole career, no matter where I'm at, no matter what the schemes are, the more reps you get with guys, the better you're going to be, the better you're going to work together down the road. I think we're continuing to get better. Certainly got a long way to go, but the good thing is we're only in mid-season. And we got, 8, 9 more games until the end of the year to really get where we want to be, to make a push.
Well, that's just the end of the regular season.
Correct.
Yeah,
make a push for the playoffs.
There you go. Take us inside these O-line dinners.
Yeah.
How did this come about? When did it start? How does it all work?
Well, ever since I've been here, we've done them. Ronnie Stanley has people over. His chef cooks for us, and
Nice.
And it's a wide variety of food, so you never know what you're going to get. I think this week we're doing breakfast food, so that's my favorite, so I can't wait. But it's something good. It's good to get guys together. We'll have other position guys come in there.
Nice. Yeah, I heard Pat Ricard gets an invite.
Pat Ricard comes.
He's an honorary offensive lineman.
Lamar and Snoop have been there, so
Nice.
Yeah. So it's good to get the guys together outside of football, just to hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we don't have much time outside of it. So
Yeah, I'm just curious. This is pretty cool. I don't know that every team would do something like this. So Ronnie initiated this and basically said, "Hey guys, I want to have you over." And does the chef take orders? How many are you guys putting in requests?
There's a theme, right?
He said it's breakfast food this week, right?
Yeah. So we've done Mexican food, Chinese food, kind of anything you name it, we've done it before.
Right. Well, Ronnie's kind of adventurous that way, I feel like.
Yeah. He loves a wide spread of food. So
yeah.
No, his chef does a great job, and it's a good little tradition we have.
Yeah. How many guys I mean, that's a lot of men and big men to feed. That's a lot of food.
It is a lot of food. We probably got 15, 20 guys probably come every week.
Nice.
So it's good. We definitely run out of some of the food that's there. But they make a lot, so usually there's a lot of leftover. So
nice.
Is it and the last question about this is like, do you feel like that actually carries over? Like, it's nice to hang out with your buddies and have a good meal and all that stuff, but like, do you actually feel like there's a tangible benefit from the off the field camaraderie once you get into game action?
I think if you enjoy being around people, it'll probably help on the field. If you're playing next to someone that you absolutely hate, I'm sure that wouldn't be too enjoyable. I don't know. I've never had to deal with that.
I sit next to somebody like that.
Right.
I can tell you from experience it sucks.
I've never had to deal with that. So if it helps, I don't know. I assume it does. I don't know. It's a good little thing that we do. It's a good little tradition that Ronnie does.
That's cool. So it seems like Todd Monken has done a really good job of blending run scheme from what worked so well with Greg's system to what, infusing what he wants to do. From an offensive lineman's perspective, can you talk about that blend?
Yeah. I think we've done a good job, just working together as a unit, everyone being on the same page. Obviously there's some carryovers to the plays we've done in the past, but also there's some new schemes. I don't know maybe the tendencies or how much of one thing we're doing than the other compared to last year. But we're always trying to improve the run game and always trying to, that's the emphasis, being able to run the ball. Anytime we can do that, it can open up a whole bunch of other things. So. Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see. I mean, and Greg did a lot of this too. Anybody can be pulling on any play, right? The center can be pulling on a number of plays. Just how neat is that you're doing a lot of unbalanced stuff. Like, guys are moving around in different positions. Obviously, the center is always in the center to begin the play. But like, do you feel like kind of keeping it fresh in that way also helps? Helps the offensive line.
Yeah, I think I feel like that's what kind of the NFL is going towards is moving guys around a lot, trying to cause defense some confusion. And, we have the athletes to do so. We have great blockers, and, anytime we can create maybe some confusion to help open things up, it's big.
Yeah. So another factor with this offense is that, Lamar talked about it at the start of the season, that the biggest difference is kind of giving him the keys to the offense. That Todd Monken gave him the keys, and he has the ability to make these pre-snap checks at the line of scrimmage. And obviously, you as a center, the guy that's snapping him the football, like, you're a big piece of that equation as well. Take us into that communication, how that works, and what that process looks like between you and Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, everything runs through Lamar. He's such a great player. We feed off of him. And he's done a tremendous job this year, just being commanding in the huddle, commanding on the sideline, just being able to get guys on the same page. I think obviously the center quarterback relation is big, just knowing the O-line and the quarterback see it the same way, especially, maybe in protection game, being on the same page, understand, where his problems possibly could be. So I think anywhere around the league, that's a big focus point and emphasis that you guys got to be on the same page, to be effective on offense.
How much are you two like talking at the same time? Just kind of take us inside how that process works. Like, does Lamar call out something? You have to be like, all right, I got to wait till he finishes, and now I'm going to relay this, or how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, we get to play in the huddle, go up to the line, make our calls. If Lamar doesn't like it, he can change us out of it. Where that's where I think I see the biggest difference in Lamar and taking over is making those after the huddle call, making those those changes at the line of scrimmage. He's done a great job, and we've seen a lot of plays this year to where he's making changes, and he's helped us make big plays out of it. So it's something that we're continuing to get better at, continuing to improve at, but certainly the step in the right direction.
Yeah. Do you as a center kind of have to go to the line with almost like multiple plays and options in mind, and then knowing like, okay, he may see something and make a check. Now I have to change my frame of mind,
protection or whatever,
and then maybe communicate that to the rest of the line. Like, I'm just curious about that process.
Yeah, I mean, all the plays that we have rules. Rules for the O-line, rules for running backs, rules for receiver, and once we get up to line, something could change if the defense is giving us a different look than what we're thinking. We certainly have the capability of quarterbacks or the O-line communicating to each other to change something about either the protection or the run game, how we handle things. And that's why you see everyone when they go to the sideline, they're communicating. The different looks we're seeing. That's why we have the iPads. The stuff that maybe defenses are showing us. Just being able to communicate effectively is big to get us in the right call.
Continuity is really important for an offensive line. That's what everybody talks about. You do have one new starter this year. John Simpson stepping in for Ben Powers at left guard. Watch some of the tape. John Simpson was putting some people on their backs last week. Can you just talk about what John has brought to the offensive line?
Yeah, John's been awesome. He's continually get better and better. He's been a great addition to our team. Very coachable. I know Jody loves working with him, and he's definitely making our team better just by his play. In each and every game, he's getting more and more confident with the things that he can do.
Right.
We've talked just about the season that you're having and feel like it's a Pro Bowl caliber season and feel like, it's going to be that time soon.
Fans better vote, by the way.
Yeah, so when voting opens, it's not open yet, but when it does open.
This guy, big time voting. We got to make the push.
Well, yes, we are campaigning on your behalf. So, but are those types of accolades something that you care about?
Honestly, no. I think the biggest thing, one thing that I've always thought is, if you're winning football games, the accolades will come with it. Mm-hmm. As long as you're doing your job winning football games, a lot more guys will get that recognition. So I'm really just focused on this week. Us handling the Browns coming in at our place. It's going to be a good challenge, and all that other stuff will take care of itself. And I'd much rather win football games than worry about being in the Pro Bowl, any other things. I think a lot of guys around this league and especially on this team, think the same way.
Yeah, I mean it's the right mindset to have. But you take that mindset, and we're going to do our part to try to get you there.
Exactly. We can't win games.
Yeah, we can't win games,
but we can help with this.
Appreciate it.
So I want to dig a little bit into your background. You have an older brother, Logan, right? And he's 3 years older than you.
Yeah.
And so, I have a brother who's 3.5 years older than me, and I used to get the snot kicked out of me routinely, especially when he was taking karate. That was the worst time of my life.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, how did that shape you as a competitor, as an athlete? What did that do for you?
Yeah, I think being the youngest, you're always getting picked on. But also, for me, I was always trying to get up to my brother's level. Just always being around his friends, always trying to compete with them.
Yeah.
And I definitely got my butt whooped a lot growing up, but it was good for me. He's been a good role model for me in my development in sports.
Yeah.
And, I certainly wouldn't be where I'm at without him.
And certainly wrestling's a big part of your background, state champion in Iowa. And can you...
Not a state champ.
Not a state...
No.
I thought you were a state champ. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying with the Pro Bowl voting. These Pro Bowl voters out there, state champion,
Just
all right?
adding accolades.
What are you doing? You're ruining it.
We weren't even going to we obviously didn't fact check it, so you could just roll with
someone
it.
out there would fact check. Someone out there
We could have gotten away with that.
No.
Whoever was the state champion would have commented and said,
It's
actually,
true.
Probably.
Yeah.
But you beat Tristan Wirfs, so that'll count. Would you advise every high school center who has big aspirations to also wrestle? Is that a big part of your game still?
Yeah, I think it's big. It's a big thing especially for the O-line position. I think it's something that they should all consider doing.
Yeah.
One, I think it's good there's a lot of transitional stuff that transitions over from wrestling to football. Just understanding leverage, the body movements, body control is big, but also it's one of the hardest sports I've done. Just pushing yourself. And when you step on that mat, it's one-on-one. There's no one else out there that can help you. Mm-hmm. So I think the sport is great, and it teaches you a lot of things.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that last year when you got drafted, the question was size to a certain extent, and you have proven that you don't need to be a 6'6", that'd be a huge center, but you can be the size that you are and be incredibly successful. And there's a lot of centers, honestly, that have proven that. At what point did you realize, like, oh, I can hang in this league? Like, I'm able to hold my own and make this transition and play at a really high level in the NFL game?
Yeah, well, I think first, I think undersized. There's one of the best centers to ever play the game, still playing, Jason Kelsey.
Right.
He's undersized and he plays at such a high level. So I think guys who think that are wrong just because there's a lot of people that can play at a high level, especially him.
Right. Leverage, right?
Who will be a Hall of Famer. So I think maybe size might help in certain situations, but it's a game of leverage. Yeah, it's a game of, getting your pads under his, and I think that definitely helps me, comes into play, when I go out there and step on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I got to believe that, like, Kelsey obviously has been doing it for a long time, and like you said, he's going to be probably a Hall of Famer at some point. Is that, like, do you study his tape? Do you look at what he did? Like, is he a guy that you're like, I mean, certainly the level that he's played at, any center would want to play at that level over the course of his career. But do you actually look at what he does and, similar body types and kind of learn from the way he approaches the game?
Yeah, certainly. All the time.
You
I'm
do?
always watching his tape.
Really?
Especially, this off season, even during like fall camp, I'd be watching his old games. Just trying to, there's a lot of stuff that, as centers that you can't do